In this episode, we sail from the South Island the entire length of the North Island. There are quite a few harbours, but they've got dangerous bars and they're all on a lee shore, so we're just going to go all the way in one go. Around the top, and then to the Bay of Islands. So I've had to redo some stuff, pack things away. Okay, 9:10. The tide's falling. Get the anchor up. I'd been waiting several weeks for a good weather window. Because I was basically engineless, I needed a good breeze to get me out of the bay and then, hopefully not too strong, across to Cape Egmont and then just a straight westerly run. That'll get us going. That'll be enough to get us going while we have breakfast, and I put the mainsail up. Okay, we're finally leaving Golden Bay, in the top of the South Island. I've actually never been cruised this area this time of year before. It's actually late autumn. It has been extremely calm, very little wind, much like today, like the whole time. I mean, occasionally like a powerful enough wind comes through to like push the air here, but it's so often just no wind at all. In the summer, there's quite strong winds like every day, like when the land heats up. It sucks, creates like sea breezes, but when it cools down, it seems like very, very little, which is nice, but also a bit boring if you want to go sailing. So I'm going to go to the far north now. Weather for it looks like it's actually going to be really good, like a really good steady run. I'm hoping I can beat my personal best. Yep, and it looks like some wind's actually coming. That land over there, that separation, that land there, that separation point, that's where the weather changes. It's totally different north of that, south of that, and I can see here comes some wind. When I'm on a passage, I remove my outboard and put it inside. It doesn't have enough range to be any use, even if I'm becalmed. So I take it off so it doesn't get splashed and so on, and I think that'll make it last longer. I put out the line to see if I could catch any fish. I quickly got interest from a bird, which is probably not a good sign because a bird should know where the real fish are. So I didn't have any luck this time. Evening, day one. Once we got the wind, we've gone pretty well. We're at the bump. This is probably going to be the bumpiest part of the trip, just when you get past the farewell spit, and it's still we're less than 100 metres deep water here. Hopefully by tomorrow we should be in the deep water. Going really fast, and it's actually not too bad. So I'm just going to try and stay warm. 13.1 degrees inside the cabin right now. It's the morning, second day. Last night was pretty brutal. I made good progress, crossed Stevens, that's where the radio forecast thing. Now we're like off the west coast of the North Island, 30 miles from Cape Taranaki. Our stretch of water is always real bumpy, and it's quite shallow, so that makes it worse, and the wind is very strong through there. I've always pretty much done this trip coming north. It's so sheltered in Tasman, in Golden Bay, Wave Tasman, that you've just been used to just being real comfortable for ages. and then you go out into like one of the roughest parts around the North Island coast. Yeah, usually feel a bit queasy at least, if not seasick. I wasn't seasick this time, so that's good. And I think it should be a nice day today. Just hoping I can try a few things out. Ripped the tip hole and drifter again. It was it's getting well old. It's definitely, yeah, I think it's a write-off now. Oh, another problem. I seem to be out of headlamps. My regular headlamp that was really good, that died recently. I got a replacement that was just going to be temporary for the trip, and I had less than a week in it, and it stopped working already. I don't know what the problem is. Well, pretty much right after I put the spinnaker up, the wind pretty much died. Yeah, the waves are still pushing us along it, maybe not. Yeah, so not much happening here. But after this, it looks like it's going to be a steady westerly for like a week. So this is the headlamp that I bought as a replacement. It's rechargeable. Costs $40. Only a week, and it's really broken. It has quite a few design flaws. Well, apart from the fact that it's not working, but even when it worked, you press it once to turn it on, then you press it again, it goes to the second mode. So you have to press it once to turn it on and twice to turn it off, which is annoying. A long push turns it to red mode, which is the mode I actually want. But then the second mode for red is flashing. I'd rather not have flashing at all, especially not have to cycle through flashing. But anyway, the worst thing is the button to turn it on and off is actually really inconvenient, especially since this whole thing moves. That being the idea that you can clip it on your hat or something, which is kind of cute, but it actually makes it worse. So I'm gonna see if I can open it, like wire or something in, because I do need a light for nighttime. I managed to dismantle it destructively because it used these star-shaped screws that I don't have. It works. Red. So now I just need a switch. Ready for the night. Well, the wind's back. I'm moving along at 5 knots plus in the right direction. It's starting to rain just slightly. I just got on the washing. It's not dry. Another night. The nights are long right now, like 14 hours. It doesn't get light until 7, it's at like 5:30. Must be getting real close to the longest day actually. I mean the longest night. I had a few small self-steering problems. Something's broken on the servo on the new one I built. It's not a floppy. Not sure how long it's been like that. It's morning of day 3 now. Might have been reached. Yeah, southwesterlies 50 knots. We've got like nice wind today. About 60 miles west of Auckland right now. So it's got a lot warmer. Last night it only got down to 14 degrees, which pretty warm compared to what it was like in the South Island. Yeah. Last night till the spinnaker again. Tore it all the way across. There was a tiny little hole that I knew about but I'd forgotten to fix. And then I noticed, oh, that had got to about this big. And I was looking at it being like, oh, perhaps I should take it down. And I was hesitating. And then it just tore right across. So, and I only just put it up. So that's what I call a fair price for a valuable lesson. But I don't think we're going to need it based on the wind directions for the rest of the trip, on the forecast at least. We've just got like southwest, it's going to be real steady southwest. 15 knots today, I'm going to pick up to 20 tomorrow according to the weather model, 25 according to the VHF forecast. Oh yeah, also I repaired the self-steering gear twice. I had this idea that the back should be able to pivot up in case it gets hit by a seaweed or something. The bolt that held that in came out twice. The nut came undone and it like slipped out eventually, so what I did, I put 2 nuts on as tight as I could and then I hit it with a hammer to like bend the bolt a little bit, so hopefully, you know, now it's impossible for the nut to come off. I've also been reading the history of New Zealand. I'm reading more than halfway through. See if I can finish it by the end of the trip. Well, it's the evening of Friday. I last changed the sails at dawn and it's just been on beam reach since then. It's been pretty bumpy but pretty relaxing. Was starting to get my sea legs. Just been reading all day. A little bit worried I'm going to finish the book before the journey is over. We're heading for Adrianga now. So can't see it yet. One of the points of sail, but a little bit annoying. It's going okay now. It's straight, we're nearly straight downwind, which is better than before, which was on the quarter. Quarter is the most difficult because it's like, because you don't have, it's like halfway between downwind and beam reach, and in beam reach there's quite a lot of weather helm. Downwind there isn't, so getting the self-steering, like what happens sometimes it gets slewed by a wave blowing onto the side, like the wind picks up and then it turns sideways but then it can't turn back down. So I actually came out here to like manually steer for a while, and then the wind changed its mind and now it's sailing downwind, so a little dressed up. Got to dress up for nothing. As you can see, it's pretty rough. Although it feels like the wind just is probably just a temporarily low boat. Forecast is actually 25 knots. This is 25 knots. It's actually much nicer conditions than it was last time I sailed past here, which is also in the dark and I didn't get the camera out, but the wind was actually blowing the other way, the east this time, so it was like to windward, and then I had a gale, whereas this time I had fair wind and it's got nothing. Cape Reinga is the first one you come to when you're at the west coast. As a New Zealander, it's quite significant because that's where the spot where deceased Maori spirits descend into the underworld and return to Hawaii, and it's quite spectacular as well, of course. Very relieved to say just about round North Cape. I just hand steered for the last 3 hours. Yeah, there's just this one little bit at the top. That's a different angle. 15 miles. Once I get around this corner, I'll be on the east coast, which is perfect. It means I won't be on a lee shore anymore, and it'll be easy sailing, and there's lots of safe harbours. I'm just going to continue sailing until Bay of Islands first, before I stop, I think, though. It's dawn on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5th day. I've been kind of hand steering, but from the hatch here, just pulling on the stuff the last couple of hours, which actually has worked great. I mean, I'd rather the self-steering. I think there's something, it's difficult to go a bit deeper than a beam reach. It's either the waves or the effect of the apparent wind, or it's just like the varying, like the weather helm is too much. Maybe it needs more, maybe it needs to turn harder. I've got something I'm going to try, but I'm not going to make that change until we get there. So I've been at sea for a little while, and it started to occur to me I haven't done a poop yet. It's day 5. First couple of days, very little appetite. I actually don't really eat that much when I'm sailing, so anyway, I think that's time. Well, I finished the history of New Zealand. 520 pages. A good length of book for this trip, though it helped that this is a relatively fast boat and I had pretty good weather window with fast sailing most of the way. Looks like I've got about 3 or 4 hours to go. I made it all the way to an anchorage in Bay of Islands without tacking once, not on the whole trip. My previous best time was 4 days and 19 hours. That was in my monohull, and that trip was also shorter because I stopped in Great Exhibition Bay, about 100 miles further north. And previously I did also do this trip in this same boat, but I was becalmed for a day and a half, and then when I got to the top I had to heave to for a day and a half. So it took 7 days. This time it took 5 days and 3 hours. If you've watched my old videos, you'll know that when I first got this boat, it was basically a wreck. It had been on the land for 20 years with bushes growing over it. I did the minimum amount to get it back in the water and sailing again. But now that I've been to Chatham Island and back, I'm satisfied that I've done some serious sailing, and it's time to do some serious work on the boat again. My main mission for this year is to paint the inside of the boat and get it ready for my next adventure. So thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and there will be more soon.